Johann Hamann said, poetry is the mother tongue of the human race, meaning poetry actually has always had a distinction, reputation, and respect about itself that is irreplaceable and undeniable under different circumstances and situations, no matter what. We cannot possibly replace or substitute poetry with anything else in the world, no matter what. Now, we may create history with our writings and with our memorization of events. We may also come up with different doctrines in philosophy. We can create critical thinking, we can forge other sorts of knowledge of science and technology, but poetry is based on imagination, fantasy, and the power to be creative and vital and vigorous, even in the midst of life's relentless sufferings and unending sorrows and limitless obstacles in one way or another. So, whereas life itself is hollow, bottomless, and full of suffering at its core, poetry is the opposite of it. Poetry has always been able to provide the man with hope, happiness, prosperity, peace, and content, even in the midst of complexities, complications, and difficulties of different kinds, whether internal or external. But poetry is actually the tongue that human beings must be able to speak, so that not only do they understand themselves, their problems or insecurity, but also the problems of the others, and in doing so are able to create strong and powerful relationships with one another, despite planting hatred, corruption, or jealousy, which is going to destroy everyone and everything at some point in time. And that's why we actually must have the willingness, the desire, and the passion that allows us to write and to create poetry based off our imagination, wisdom, intelligence, and our creativity. And that must also help us to actually speak that poetry with our tongue in our communications with other men around us in society, so that we're able to enrich and better the human race in one way or another. So instead of promoting or spreading jealousy, propaganda, hatred, or other sorts of negativities or evils, we must be willing to exercise restraint, control, discipline, and alongside we must also be willing to develop and portray integrity, morality, and character, so that the others can also learn from our embodiment and epitome of qualities and virtues. And in turn, everyone learns something and becomes good, if not better, at something or another.